The following program is brought to you by the Midas Gold Group.
This is the Gold Standard from the Midas Gold Group with Kenneth Russo. Hello, I'm Dave Deno. Welcome to the Gold Standard, your source for secure investment advice and information on the advantages of purchasing and owning precious metals. Whether you're a novice investor or an experienced collector, this is the program that gives you a realistic weekly perspective on the state of the economy, reliable information about using precious metals such as gold, silver, and platinum to safeguard your wealth, and remarkable details about specific precious metal coins and bullion. Ken Russo is a senior vice president at Midas Gold Group. His peers characterize him as a straight shooter who will work harder for you than anyone else. And I think you're going to get a good sense of that today because our topic today is U.S. debt. Ken, I want to start just by talking about a little bit of the news of the day. As I watch the headlines and I watch politics in Washington, D.C. particularly, but oftentimes in many of our states as well, I see that we are on this seemingly unending spending spree. The government just seems to think that whatever problems there are out there in society can be taken care of by spending. What's your view on that?
Well, first of all, good day to you, Dave, and hello to everyone. And let's be realistic. Spending is out of control, and it has been for a very long time. Debt is an issue. It's a global issue, but right here in the United States, it's front and center, and it's very relevant. Dave, first of all, U.S. debt, let's keep it simple, is basically what the government owes the people. The government spends more than it brings in. It's done this for decades. It's very dangerous. It will cause significant pressure on our dollar. We spoke about this at length through many shows that our dollar guaranteed will buy less in the future, and it could buy a lot less. And debt, if it continues to go at this rate or more, and we all know it will, we can see the writing on the wall. They're going to print tens of trillions of dollars over the next few years. There will be a debt implosion of some sort, and there will be and could be a severe dollar devaluation in the future.
And this is not just your opinion. I mean, this is what you and I both see as we read indicators from many economic experts these days, right?
I don't see how it can go any other way.
Mm.
You can't fix a debt problem by issuing more debt, and many times people talk about, well, what exactly could happen? What exactly is an implosion? I know you asked me and you said, hey, what is an implosion, Ken?
Hmm.
Well,
Hmm.
as debt grows, Dave, the dollar buys less and less, and we can't protect our buying power. We need something to protect our buying power. Fiat currencies do not work. And we've talked about fiat currencies before, paper money backed by nothing. We've seen this happen before with many superpowers in history, and history does matter. Fiat money, Dave, has a very poor track record. When debt implodes someday, if the government for some reason can't pay the interest on this debt or defaults on this debt, the assets behind all that debt will also get destroyed and implode as well. It's a very scary situation.
You are listening to the Gold Standard with Ken Russo, and this is brought to you by Midas Gold Group. And we're talking today about U.S. debt. Ken, let's get in a little bit deeper. What's the track record of our government debt?
Well, it seems to be getting parabolic at this point. It's a very steep uphill at this moment. As if we can think about that in our minds, let's just review quickly. President Ronald Reagan inherited about $900 billion of debt in 1981. George Bush Sr. inherited about $2.6 trillion in 1988. Bill Clinton inherited $4 trillion in 92. Bush inherited 5.7. You see the pattern here, Dave.
Hmm.
Obama inherited 10 trillion. Trump inherited 20 trillion. Biden inherited 28 trillion. Debt
Wow.
could be 40 to 50 trillion in 2025. And It's going parabolic, which means right now that risk is as high as it's ever been in our history. This does matter. Debt does matter. Someday this will matter. The government is basically bankrupt on paper. We actually hear unfunded liabilities like veterans benefits, Dave, Social Security, and Medicare. That debt is actually over $150 trillion. And where is all of this coming from?
All the way from a debt of $900 billion in 1981 with Ronald Reagan, and he did not like that debt, all the way to Biden inheriting 28 trillion, and then a projected 40 to 50 trillion by 2025. And then, as you said, we have all of these unfunded liabilities like our veterans benefits, Social Security, and Medicare, which so many people have become dependent upon, actually $150 trillion in the red. But politicians tell us that they have the funding for these programs, right?
Well, that's what they say. I mean, I don't believe them, and many of our clients don't believe them.
Mm.
They're just printing money out of thin air, or they think they're going to be able to tax the wealthy. It's not a solid plan, but unfortunately, the only tool in their toolbox at this point is to promote spending, and the only reason where that money is coming from is out of thin air. They have to borrow from Peter, as they say, Dave, to pay Paul, and this will have a reckoning one day. We cannot just keep printing and giving away additional money. We just can't, just keep shifting money around like a shell game. Our dollar will suffer. Our dollar is under threat. Fiat money, Dave, as you know, fails throughout history.
Ken, the picture that you paint, I got to tell you, it's very troubling. Please tell me you've got some good news for us, any news on how we can lower the impact of these government monetary policies. Please give us a little bit of HOPE, hope.
Well, there's always hope, and eventually this is going to play out well. I mean, we will come out of this better someday on the other side, but that could take a very long time. And before that happens, there will be a lot of financial pain, and it could take many, many years. Once this bubble bursts, Dave, the remedy will take a long time to eventually play out. And when that happens, by that time, most paper assets, stock assets, bond assets, and even real estate, some of those assets will be decimated. And the
Wow.
hope is you can do something about it today. That's what gold does. The role of physical gold is to get you through that chaos and that crisis. And we'll talk a little bit more about that soon.
All right. This is reassuring. And in a moment, we are going to look at, as you have indicated, some tangible ways that we can safeguard our personal wealth here on the eve of what could be a giant economic collapse in America. First, though, coming up, we're going to have our featured precious metal product of the week, and this is a very unusual one. You're listening to The Gold Standard with Ken Russo, brought to you by Midas Gold Group.
I'm here with Midas Gold Group senior trader and Marine Corps veteran James Clark. James, why are people investing in gold and silver?
Well, Dr. Gorka, the Federal Reserve supplies money to pay for congressional spending. As Congress expands spending, the Fed has no choice but to keep printing money at an accelerated rate. This causes the dollar to fall and gold to increase.
So as the Fed and Congress devalue the dollar, what can people do?
As the nation's #1 veteran-owned precious metals dealer, we offer diversification strategies in the form of precious metals. As Congress looks to the Fed for more money, investors look to gold and silver to protect their nest egg.
And I recommend that you look to Midas Gold Group for all your precious metal needs. Call Midas Gold Group for their guide to owning bullion and coins today. 855-322-GOLD. That's 855-322-4653 or MidasGoldGroup.com.
And we're back with more of The Gold Standard, brought to you by Midas Gold Group with Ken Russo. I'm Dave Deno. By the way, if you live in the Los Angeles or Phoenix area, we encourage you to come and visit our local office to meet with us in person. For the address and directions, just log on to our website, MidasGoldGroup.com. That's an easy one to remember, MidasGoldGroup.com. For those of you listening in other cities, you can call us directly at 855-322-GOLD, 855-322-GOLD. gold. If you want to write that down by the numbers, it's 855 322 4653. We would love to see you in person. We'd love to talk with you on the phone. Ken, over the past few weeks, we've looked at several beautiful precious metal products, and I'll review that for a moment. The gold American Eagle, the gold maple leaf, the gold buffalo, and the silver American Eagle. But I noticed just a few days ago that silver is on the rise over the past couple of years. So today, we're going to travel across the pond, as the British call it, to take a look at the silver Britannia, which I think is a stunning piece to hold in your hand. What do you find interesting about this?
Well, first of all, Dave, silver, it's come down a little bit lately. It's on sale, and we would ask people to look at as that as an opportunity to possibly accumulate. Silver's up over 40% the last couple of years. It is a industrial metal with a lot of industrial applications, and we think it will always have a role as money. We love silver. We think someday it'll be much higher, but the silver Britannia is a unique, beautiful coin. I would say, Dave, next to the silver eagle and the maple leaf, it could be the third most popular silver bullion coin, and it's actually less in price than those other two coins. It offers a good value. The silver Britannia, Dave, has become very highly sought by investors and collectors around the globe. It is truly an extraordinary piece of art that has value added to it because of its design. If you hold the coin in your hand, Dave, the obverse side, or what you might call the head side, has an image of Queen Elizabeth II, as many of the mints do, and it's a more contemporary image rather than the earlier one that the British coins had when they featured her as a little bit of a younger likeness. Then, Dave, the reverse side is very exciting. It's a portrait of the legendary figure of Britannia. And Britannia is a sign of a symbol of tradition, resilience, and strength. She protects the homeland, steadfast and confident. Britannia is the Lady Guardian. It goes back as far as the Roman occupation of the British Isles. Her image is held a status only equaled by the goddess of ancient Roman society. The origin of the modern image of the Lady Guardian dates back 300 years, Dave, with the formation of the United Kingdom. The Britannia comes in gold, it comes in silver, and it comes in platinum. They're all very unique. They were designed by Philip Nathan. The designer of the first Britannia gold bullion coin was in 1987. Again, we're talking about the silver version right now. And he imagined her as a classic and evolving warrior who embraces peace. And when I see it, that's kind of how I feel about it too. It's represented by an olive branch, but protects herself with a trident spear. She's actually holding a big trident spear, a Corinthian helmet. It's a really nice image. It's a nice coin. It seems to me when I hold it, it feels real and it feels powerful. And I think that's the image that Philip Nathan was trying to get across as well.
Now, I understand, though, that, and sometimes this adds value to coins, there have been several revisions of the coin?
Yeah, I mean, and like many other coins, they change from time to time. Originally, the design of Britannia standing in a horse-drawn chariot, this resembled a Roman figure, Boudica. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but the chariot Britannia design was originally engraved by G.W. de Saules, and that was used on the florins of Edward VII from 1902 to 1910, and on the gold Britannia coin for most of the issues that followed 1987. The standard obverse of Queen Elizabeth II and the reverse of the standing Britannia decorate all of the silver Britannia bullion coins of even numbered years, started with 1998 and continuing to 2020. However, Dave, these special designs and variations have appeared on the coins released in odd number years since 1997. So it is an evolving coin, which it kind of keeps me interested in it from year to year. The British silver Britannia coin has become one of Europe's premier bullion coins. This does qualify, Dave, for an IRA. So you can hold the silver Britannia coin in your possession, or you could hold it in your retirement account. And as you know, Midas Gold Group offers the silver Britannia coin in brilliant uncirculated condition. We regularly stock both new coins like 2021, which are available, and certain backdates. It's a great coin. We offer competitive pricing. We offer bulk discounts. It's a coin that people should be definitely inquiring about. As silver's down a little, it's a buy.
It is a fascinating coin. When you delve into it, as you have given us in great detail, its origins and its changing images. I really like all of that. Coming up in a moment, we're going to talk specifically about a suggestion to protect your wealth against the dangers of the U.S. debt situation. We're going to give you nuts and bolts steps that you can take to safeguard your wealth. You're listening to The Gold Standard with Ken Russo, brought to you by Midas Gold Group.
Sebastian Gorka here. The Biden-Harris administration is governing through an unprecedented number of executive orders. We have a good idea of what their agenda means for the country and for your finances. More debt, more regulations, slower growth, and higher taxes. There's even talk of a digital wallet currency and a so-called Great Reset. With massive new spending programs, the Fed is printing money even faster than before. This will likely cause the dollar to fall and gold prices to rise. That's why it's never been more important to own physical gold and silver, and the dealer I trust to do business with is veteran-owned Midas Gold Group. The experts at Midas Gold can even help you convert a portion of your IRA into physical gold and silver to stabilize your portfolio against the coming storm. Call Midas Gold Group for their guide to owning bullion and coins today. 855-322-GOLD. That's 855-322-4653 or MidasGoldGroup.com.
We continue now with the Gold Standard, brought to you by Midas Gold Group with Ken Russo. I'm Dave Deno. Again, a reminder, if you live in the Los Angeles or the Phoenix area, we encourage you to come and visit our local office and meet with us in person. We'd love to sit down with you. For the address and directions, just log on to our website, MidasGoldGroup.com. MidasGoldGroup.com. I ask Ken questions here on the program. You can ask him your specific questions about your investment strategy. Now, for those of you listening in other cities, call us directly at 855-322-GOLD. 855-322-GOLD. By the numbers 855-322-4253. So far today, we have given you an understanding of the U.S. debt and the dangers it poses to your personal financial security. And I want to underline the word personal there, because that is how far down the chain it reaches, right into your pocketbook. And we have highlighted a beautiful coin, the silver Britannia. Ken, let's turn our attention back to the issue of the U.S. debt. You have given us reason for concern. Now, let's go back to that hope. What can an investor do now to protect themselves from an inevitable debt implosion?
Well, it's pretty simple, we feel. And first of all, inflation is at a 20-year high. It's not going away anytime soon, no matter what or who says it's transitory or temporary. It's not going away. And people know that. The answer to all this debt from the government, Dave, is we'll just print more and we'll take on more debt. Debt does matter. We cannot print unlimited money. And one of the first steps, Dave, that people need to do is to diversify.
But you say it does matter, and that this debt will be destructive, even though the politicians say, no, it doesn't matter.
Well, like I said, that's the only tool in their toolbox at this point. The U.S., Dave, has unfixable debt. It will grow tremendously, and Washington will continue to spend into oblivion. The real problem, Dave, is this spending right now is global. We're talking about the U.S. debt, but right now it's a global problem, which never happened before. This spending, it will ruin our dollar's buying power, and people need to protect themselves from that. And the easiest way to do that is to call Midas Gold Group, and we can give you some suggestions.
Okay, diversifying our assets into gold. Tell me more about that.
Well, if you have some cash at the bank, or you have a retirement account or an old 401k or maybe a CD, you know that those assets are going to buy less in the future, and you're not going to get a return, and it's dangerous. You can take some of those assets, move it sideways into physical gold. You can hold that gold and hold that silver yourself. It will be there when you need it. And gold and silver, Dave, have a long track record of holding your buying power. And we believe in the next few years, with all of this money printing and all of this debt that we're talking about, both gold and silver will be significantly higher in price 3, 4, 5, 10 years down the road.
I know that when you talk with an individual, you're not just giving them some sort of a predetermined formula that you've got on a sheet of paper. It's not the same for every person, is it?
No, it's not. And everyone's a little different, Dave. Everybody has their own unique situation. But we are willing to invest our time in our clients. We work very hard for them. We're the nation's #1 veteran-owned gold and silver dealer. We feel very privileged to talk to our clients. It's important. We feel it's the difference maker for most investors over the next 5 or 10 years to diversify.
I was doing a little bit of research. First of all, I found out that Midas has been protecting clients for 11 years, and the price of gold, this was interesting to me. The price of gold in 2000 was about $250. The price of gold in 2008 was roughly $900. The price of gold today is just under $2,000, but it is as cheap today as it was 20 years ago if you consider inflation and the money supply. So, how should clients look then at the current price of gold?
I would suggest that people look at gold not as a speculation or an investment, Dave, but as money. You know, if you own $25,000 worth of gold back in the 70s, it's worth now about 1.1 million.
Whoa, whoa,
If
whoa!
you
Wait a minute! Wait a
invested
minute! Give me that again. 25,000 back when,
in the early 70s,
and it's worth how
when
much
gold
now?
was about $38 an ounce, it'd be worth about $1.1 million today.
Wow, wow.
And if you invested $25,000 in gold 20 years ago, it'd be worth $162,000 today. Now, that's all great. But the real question is if what if you held that $25,000 in cash from the 70s? Or if you held $25,000 25 years ago at the bank in cash, how much would that buy today? And I would tell you that it would buy probably less than half of what you thought it would 20 years ago. That's the point.
And the last question I have for you in our short time today, and it is always too short, the Midas Gold Group can help a person diversify some of their assets to protect their wealth, right?
Well, that's what we do every day. You know, we offer clients information. Information is power, on how they can protect their buying power and their purchasing power over the next few years. There are many different choices out there, but gold and silver have a long, reliable track record of doing exactly that. Physical gold and silver. Your advisor might not be telling you to do it. Your banker might not be telling you to do it. Your family may not even be telling you to do it. But you have to know deep down inside, over the next few years, our paper assets are under a severe threat. And what will get us through the crisis and the financial chaos that's on its way, gold and silver will be there, Dave, when you need it.
Yeah, I'm a believer in that because I am an investor in gold and silver with Midas Gold Group as well. And that's going to bring us to the end of our time today here on the Gold Standard with Ken Russo, brought to you by Midas Gold Group. And a reminder here, advice given is not intended to be specific to your investment strategy, but rather general information to give you a better understanding of investing in precious metals. For answers to your questions, call Midas Gold Group at 855-322-GOLD, 855-322-GOLD. By the numbers 855-322-4653. And the website is MidasGoldGroup.com. That's MidasGoldGroup.com. The Midas Gold Group is proud to be America's #1 veteran-owned gold dealer, supporting veterans' causes with a portion of profits donated to the Wounded Warriors Project and the Semper Fi Fund. So your investment in your future is also an investment in the future of those who have bravely served the cause of freedom. Again, the number to call to speak directly with Midas Gold Group is 855-322-GOLD. I'll give it to you one more time, 855-322-GOLD. Ken, thank you so much for being with us today.
It's my pleasure.
I'm Dave Deno. Come and join us again next week at the same time for another edition of the Gold Standard.
The Gold Standard was brought to you by the Midas Gold Group.